working for you. Fox 2 News at 6 starts now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HD Show. We are here for you with your weather, sports, sometimes, and headlines when we're not on television. We're, of course, on fox2detroit.com and, of course, on our Facebook page. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Hillary Goldstein.
I'm Dave Spencer. Just got the push alert, so I know that the HD Show is on right now. It's confirmed. And you should get that alert status on your social media so you can know when the HD Show is on. Another breaking news. So let's get right to the big story of the day, that being the sunshine in late February. It's always nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, we're just talking about it. I think the sun was nice, but apparently people say it was a lot colder today.
Cold, but
Stephanie.
yeah, still sunny.
The sun kind of blocked out the cold for me, the frigid temps.
Yeah, I think the sunshine really did help, but we were a lot colder than yesterday afternoon. We topped out at 33 degrees today. Yesterday we topped out at 54. Luckily, this was very brief because we do see numbers only increasing from here on out, which is great news. But you notice where that cold front is, it did usher in some considerably colder air, not only here in Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and then back out towards the east as well. Not necessarily tracking anything heading into this weekend, which is great, or to the end of this weekend. Tonight will continue to cool. I think we'll bottom out in the 20s overnight, mid-20s. Should be another cold one, but not as cold as this morning. Wind conditions will begin to kick up as well, so a little breezy. Tomorrow, high temps should warm into the upper 40s, so it should feel a little nicer. We're still looking at quite a bit of sunshine, too, through the day. Really, the only issue we see with tomorrow is going to be the breezy conditions. Now, wind gusts are going to get upwards of around 25 to 30 miles per hour, but they're going to be directly out of the south, so that's funneling in some warmer air. And then tomorrow evening, they should begin to diminish. As we head through the work week, though, we do have a couple of issues to work through. So we do see those milder temperatures return, but we could be looking at the possibility of maybe a few storms. And right now, it looks like a good bulk of possibly some severe weather looks to be down near Illinois, Indiana, and parts of Ohio. For right now, Detroit has that opportunity to pick up on a garden variety shower or storm heading through late Tuesday into Wednesday with our next system here. So here's that. By around 4 in the afternoon, we'll see a few of these showers and storms develop by Wednesday at 1 o'clock in the morning. Pretty good shot of moisture then. Scattered showers continue through much of the day on Wednesday. And then Wednesday evening, we'll start to see some colder air spill in. So that could transition any precip over into some lighter snow. So the 7-day forecast kind of active for us here. We see 60s, 50s, few 30s in there. So kind of an active, almost spring-like work week for us here. Tuesday, 64. Scattered showers stick with us Wednesday, possibly seeing maybe a few light flurries on Thursday. Notice highs will drop to the upper 30s. It'll be very brief, though, with highs returning to the 50s by this time next week. It's always a good idea, and don't forget, you can always get the latest forecast by checking the Fox 2 weather app. Download it for free in the App Store or Google Play.
All right, thank you so much, Stephanie. We appreciate that. A lot to watch in terms of the weather. I didn't realize we might have the potential for storms.
Yeah.
So please do join us tonight for our late show, 10 o'clock, for an update on those systems.
Got it.
We're turning now to a story that is sad, but I suppose could have been so much worse. Crews were fighting a blaze at a home in Royal Oak last night. There were no injuries to citizens or firefighters, but sadly, 3 cats died in that fire. According to the fire department, at around 10 p.m., firefighters were dispatched to the area of Rochester and Donald for a residential structure fire. There you see the remnants. When they got there, they found intense flames and smoke coming from the back of the house. Everyone who lived there was able to get out before the crews even got there. The fire department tells us crews made what's called an aggressive interior attack, and the fire was put out before it spread to nearby structures. As is always the case, it's going to take some time to figure out what caused that blaze.
Well, today, February 24th, marks 2 years since Russia first invaded Ukraine, and the fighting continues with Russian forces sending in tanks from the ground and bombs from above. Ukrainians continue to fight for their freedom, but each day those fighters remain desperate for foreign aid. Ukrainian officials also say they need soldiers on the front lines, as current members of the military tell Fox News injuries are starting to take a toll, along with the reduction in the number of people willing to enlist 2 years after the fighting first began. Now, tonight at 10, you'll hear from someone in the Michigan-Ukrainian Crisis Response Team about what has changed in the last 2 years and what people in Metro Detroit can do. You'll also hear from another person who is set to leave Michigan to the Ukraine to deliver aid to those still living there. And for those who wish to get more involved, a rally will be held tomorrow at 1 p.m. over at Hart Plaza. You'll hear more details on all that coming up tonight at 10.
All right, that's certainly an important story, and we'll have an in-depth interview also tomorrow, Sunday evening, from someone who spent time in Ukraine, and I look forward to seeing what you're putting together as well.
Yeah.
All right, so Detroit police, as we know, they've been talking about it for a very long time. Well, they are continuing their recruiting efforts. Today, applicants could complete the entire hiring process in just one day. That's better than most, by choosing from more than 100 DPD units and opportunities that go far beyond becoming a sworn officer. The Detroit Police Department says it welcomes individuals who are looking to enter an exciting career in law enforcement. DPD, by the way, is the largest sworn law enforcement agency in Michigan, with more than 2,500 enforcement officers. The department's jurisdiction covers nearly 140 square miles, and it serves a population in excess of 670,000 residents. DPD says there are a myriad of opportunities to work to quickly advance in the ranks of becoming perhaps a corporal, a detective, and even more. Lots of opportunities there, and many agencies across Detroit and Metro Detroit and Michigan are looking for good law enforcement officers.
They do hold a number of them, so if you didn't get involved this time, make sure to keep an eye out for the next hiring fair that they're going to have too. All right, well, now is the time of year when you really want a vacation to look forward to. It's late winter, it's February, and whether that's a cottage up north or some waterfront property possibly to rent, Fox 2's Lauren Edwards takes us inside the Suburban Collection showplace over in Novi to show us all the cottage and lakefront living show has to offer.
There's docks and decks, seawalls, lifts, boats, water toys.
No detail was spared at this year's Cottage and Lakefront Living Show in Novi.
This show celebrates summer. It's a way to meet experts, whether you are looking to buy, build, renovate, or decorate.
Show manager Don Baker says you can schedule time to meet one-on-one with experts, from deck builders to vacation rental managers, and ask them any questions you may have. Or you can take a stroll through the market, which feels like a beach town.
They can do one-of-a-kind custom pieces, and so if you're looking for something truly unique to set your place apart, this is the place that you want to do your shopping.
Baker says in total 11,000 people are expected to attend the event, and one of the popular attractions are the boats, like the Haley Comet, a mahogany cruiser that 23-year-old Haley Eversole began building when she was just 10 years old with her dad by her side.
7:30 to 6 p.m. we did on Saturdays and Sundays. After work, he'd pick me up from school and we'd work for about 2 hours. So it's definitely a lot of labor, but you get this.
Baker says tickets are $12 for adults, $5 for kids, but the feeling of summer in February is priceless.
So we love the beach. Whether it's you want to put your toes in the sand, kick back, or whether you want to build that sand castle, you can enjoy time at the beach inside this weekend despite the frightful weather outside.
So if you couldn't make it on Saturday, that's okay. They open at 10 a.m. on Sunday and goes until 5 p.m. And my advice, come with $1, because if you come with more than that, you are definitely walking out with something. Reporting here in Novi, Lauren Edwards, Fox 2 News.
Ideas and feel like you're in a
I need a vacation. I need one.
Me too. I was feeling exactly the same way today. I return to something a little bit harder. A student kicked out of school for drawing a picture of a gun. And now the student's father says the district wants police to search their home before the child is allowed back in class. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin has more on both sides of the story. He was in Port Huron.
This sketch of gun references is not an art project and certainly not a threat, according to the father of this 16-year-old boy who drew it, but it's drawing fire in Port Huron.
He plays a lot of first-person shooter games, and so he drew one of the weapons as best as he can draw.
Jeremy Kinney says his teenage son was banned from Port Huron High School because of this image appearing to show two guns and the phrases six-shooter and bang.
We had a discussion with him about it because obviously we want him to do his schoolwork, right? We don't want him doodling in class.
The issue makes many think back to the Oxford High School shooter who made troubling drawings prior to opening fire on his classmates, killing 4 and wounding several others. Critics say Oxford ignored obvious signs of trouble there, but Kinney says this is nothing like that.
It is nothing incriminating, or there's nothing in the photo that says he's going to hurt anybody. There's not a statement. There's not an image of dead bodies. It's just a picture of a gun.
But here's the thing. The family says in order for their son to get back into school, the family has to agree to a search of their house to see if they have any guns. They have a problem with that.
I understand the climate that we're in, and I understand how everybody or how other people can say they didn't do enough or they did the wrong thing, but you're never going to really understand that feeling of being violated and having somebody try to force their way into your home.
Fox 2 reached out to Port Huron schools for comment, but we have not yet heard back on this.
It makes no sense, and the world's gone crazy.
Constitutional attorneys are sounding off. Lawyer Nick Somberg shared his thoughts.
If the school has reasonable suspicion of a crime, they're going to be able to search a student. I don't know what crime a picture of a gun, a very poorly drawn picture of a gun could possibly be, but the actions of the kid are certainly not grounds to then go and search the parents' house who have full-blown constitutional rights. Your home is your castle. So that is the most protected place in the United States. They're going to need probable cause and a warrant to go in there.
All right, it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. I can see both aspects of it.
For sure.
Clearly, you want to keep families, kids, students, teachers safe. That completely makes sense. But then on the other side of it, we do have constitutional rights in this country, and you do have to have probable cause to go into someone's home. So very interesting debate, and I'm sure we'll be following that story.
Yeah, regardless, it's a good time to have that conversation with your kids. You should always be having that conversation just about what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, so you could kind of nip that in the bud so they're not having to make those judgment calls that could affect you in such ways.
Yeah, land them in hot water. And now schools have zero tolerance policies. I mean, you might be out of school for a very long period of time, even just for something like that.
Yep.
All right, well, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here tonight at 10 o'clock, and we look forward to seeing you then, and we'll give you an update on all the stories we talked about, plus the weather and those storms.
That's right.
Potential storms that Stephanie talked about.
Have a great Saturday. See you later.